bug and cue the music and the graphics package. Spare no expense. Welcome to Let's Unpack Some Shit with MT. Empty.
With empty.
My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melinda McKinsey. I live in Brooklyn, New York.
I'm in Tarpon Springs near Tampa. Another lovely day here.
Yeah,
Chamber of Commerce Day. Thank you very much.
that's right. And today we are going to continue to unpack some shit.
So viewership is down. I can't believe it because of those scintillating topics you introduced last week.
My obsession about being alone.
Yeah, your secret obsession. Everybody's leaning in. Oh, her obsession is she likes to be alone. I was just more than disappointed with that. Let me see if I can stop this thing from
Apparently, I have to be more open with my obsessions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tiptoe into it. I don't want to scare people.
Whoa!
Knocking
Hey.
stuff down. What just happened?
You got some sort of ghost of I saw a ghost with smoking a pipe with a beard knock something down.
My sign, my very classic
We're on the air.
recording sign.
You're the ghost of Mrs. Muir.
Oh man, that is a classic Ghost of Mrs. Muir. That was a good one. What do you want to talk about today on this
Well,
Friday?
my list is happy about the best, what to eat. I'll have what she's having is the subtopic. I want to talk more about those checks.
Yes.
And then I have some holdovers from last week. Shark teeth, boys of summer, fresh tomatoes. What do you got?
We still didn't discuss men versus women. I have a lot to say about that.
I wonder what side of the fence you're going to fall on that one.
I'm very supportive
Mystery.
of men.
No one knows.
For issues. And what is your culture? Talk about cultural upbringing. Because I was a Navy brat, so I want to talk about that. Media versus science versus opinions. That sounds fun. No one's doing that. Nobody's doing that. And of course, sexy talk and tip of the day, which I'll try to be more honest. I have to start slow with these things.
Sexy talk. I like being alone, reading a book.
I like being alone. I like to read my books.
We got a lot of static about that.
So hot. Yes.
You're trying to bring me into the anal beads conversation while you're reading a book under a
Can I get a couple of points? During this segment, I still did discuss anal beads and anal sex, which is still
in a clinical fashion.
Did I though?
Yeah, if you said I tried anal beads or I had anal beads in my boyfriend's butt, that's a whole other conversation. Then I know anal beads exist.
Okay, but I talked about a past dating experience where they wanted anal sex. That's still a little bit more.
And then you denied it. So that's nothing's earth shattering about that.
Fine.
You tell me there was 7 guys from the soccer team.
All right, I'll share some stuff today. Fine, but you have to too. You wouldn't tell me the sexiest thing that ever happened to you.
I'm so happy I never fell into that trap. So let's go with your topic, men versus women.
Okay. What made me think of this was the other day I was watching an interview from the Washington Post with Sarah Cooper, the comedian that does the parody of Trump.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And she's super funny.
Yeah.
And so the guy from the Post was saying, hey, I'm a reporter, so I don't normally do live stuff. And so I'm watching as a woman and watching her reaction as a female, as one does. And it was very interesting during this interview, and maybe it's because he was not a trained reporter. Everything was coming from his perspective, and he would ask a question anticipating the answer, and she would be halfway in it, and he would go, oh, you know what I think is really funny? What if you do? And it wasn't great. You know what I mean?
So he'd ask a question, she'd be giving an answer, then it wasn't what he was expecting, so he went another direction?
Yeah, and it bothered me a lot. And I'm like, is it male versus female? Because you're better about it. Clearly, when we do this show, you let me talk, and I interrupt you a lot. But in real life, with work and with play, I have found when you talk to a man, unless you're doing sexy talk or something, they don't really want to hear your stuff.
Can we get to the sex part?
I know. And so, well, I thought it was fascinating to watch it because it made me a little uncomfortable because I could see it in her eyes, right? Like I could see it in her eyes where she was, you know, trying to take it. And then she was explaining, people are saying she's an overnight sensation, but she's saying, I've been a comedian for a long time. I've written books, so she was having to explain, like, this is who I am. This just happens to be what's taking off right now. And she happens to do it very well, but let her talk, let her. I've been in meetings before where I have suggested something in a work environment, and the minute the table ignored it, 2 minutes later, one of the guys brings up my point and goes,
"No, why can't everybody have ideas like that?"
yeah, and looked around the room like he was so proud, and I looked at the other women in the room like, okay, yeah, right.
You know what? I agree with you that it happens, but it also happens in a man's world. My brother Patrick was famous for saying something that was cute or funny, and then I'd say it a beat later. I'd get the laugh, and he's like, "What happened?" I said the same thing. So it does happen. But I tell you though, there's nothing like, interviewing an old white guy to everybody. I'm gonna get my piece in versus an old white guy might steamroll somebody who doesn't think he's up to his level.
So do you feel like it happens just as much to men in a work environment where they're
Yeah, it can. There's always that pecking order is really out there whenever people are talking. It's like, I mean, I remember seeing that scene. I was watching the Martian with Matthew
McConaughey.
no Matt Damon.
Oh my gosh, that was a really funny film. I forgot about that film.
And there's that scene in the film where Glover is the, crazy scientist. He's, out of Harvard. He's 23 years old, whatever. And he's talking to the head of NASA, and he's talking to the guy like he's, "What's your name?" "My name is Joe, Mason. I'm the head of NASA." "Yeah, Joe, let me have your pen for a second." So everybody's like freaking out because they're violating the norms of, the pecking order. So that was interesting in that particular movie where, Glover didn't care, young black guy, talking old whitey like, we're in a bar and we're on the same level.
Yeah. And I get, obviously, because I only know from a female perspective, and my own experiences is that watching that interview with Sarah Cooper, I felt uncomfortable for her because you could see she wasn't able to really express herself, and I had to stop watching it because I just got so uncomfortable.
Right.
It was like,
I think it goes both ways. If you're a minority, you may feel oppressed because of that. If it's happening to me, I understand, they're inexperienced. So I'm not going to feel, I don't ever think I'm going to ever feel oppressed because, the guy's looking at me, unless there's some sort of racial tension in already laid down as a foundation. Adam Carolla tells a funny story, if you don't mind me saying something similar. He goes, his assistant used to park across the street, to come to his house and help him with this, that, the other thing. And the old lady across the street inevitably didn't like his assistant parking on a public street in front of her house. Wasn't blocking the driveway. He was just parking in front of the house, and she didn't like it. She didn't like his car in front of her house. It's a public street. So when he would come out at 10 o'clock to go home or whatever, she's out there giving him don't ever park here, blah blah blah. And Carolla says, now if he was a black guy, he may think it's racist. No, she's just a bitch. She's complaining about something that she has no business complaining about. So he may interpret it as being racist. No, she's just not a nice person, despite of the color of the guy who parked the car.
You're right. And again, with this topic, we're only coming from our own experience.
Right.
That's all we can know. And that's why it's so important to communicate in a way where we can hear each other, because had I been in that interview, I feel like, because I've learned to stand up for myself, I would have said, "Well, hold on, let me finish this beat," just so I can take it, because you can tell he was really just trying to control the narrative, and it was as a female, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, so he
went in. Like, that's right, push her, go.
He went in with a preconceived notion of the type of answers he was expecting, wasn't getting them, and he wanted to start, let's try something else. And I've seen interviewers do the same. I've seen Ellen DeGeneres. I'm not a big fan. That's just me, myself personally.
I understand.
Where she gets interviewed and she demands the dominating position of being the person in charge. She doesn't like having to answer your questions. Okay.
Right.
So every
Right.
question, this is me interpreting
Yes.
I'm observing her in action.
Yes.
Every question was twisted in the fact that the question was corrected all the time. Ellen, that first time you did stand-up comedy on Merv Griffin, how did that feel? Well, it really wasn't stand-up comedy. It was more of an artistic performance.
Ah.
Ellen, you were 23. You've been doing stand-up, and now you're going to call it an artistic performance. You know what I'm saying? Minor corrections to get the hand over the guy who's asking questions.
Yes.
And she did it. The entire interview was like that. I was like, so she doesn't like being told to dance to,
Yeah.
answer the questions you're asking.
Interesting sidebar. A million years ago, when I lived in Florida, I was requested to be Ellen DeGeneres' body double for a water show. They wanted me to drive a jet ski and do some stunts. And I said, I am not a stunt person, and it's nowhere on my resume. They're like, but you can swim.
But you can heal.
And I said, I don't think my body's like hers. I have a fairly nice sized chest, and she's fairly flat. And I said, they said, oh, we'll put you in one of those.
So you're arguing against work.
Well, I didn't want to do a jet.
I get it. I get it. If you're not comfortable, you shouldn't do it.
And they raised the money. They're like, how about if we pay you? And I said, I don't do jet ski. They really fought me hard. I was like, why are they fighting so hard? This sounds like a terrible job.
Can I say this can I defend myself a little bit about Ellen? I was just disappointed to see her acting like that because I've always been a big fan. I thought she was great in her shows. I was very, happy when she got her show. And I just think it's gone to her head a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pushback on Ellen right now. But hey, an interesting sidebar. Did you notice my canvases of my dogs?
Is that Ringo Starr?
Here's the thing, real quick sidebar, because I like to change up the space.
Hey, you know what? It's your clock. You're on the clock. Do whatever you like.
Mabel and Reagan. I used to have 2 Chihuahuas. Now I just have Reagan. One day I put wigs on them because I thought it would be hilariously funny. And I took photos of them and I sent them to my niece. And as a gift, my niece had them put on canvases.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it hilarious when someone does something like that? Because I just thought it was a funny picture because wigs on your dogs. So I would like to acknowledge, we lost Mabel, sadly, to heart disease, and Reagan is 14 years old, but I just thought they were so funny. I had to put them out here.
Look at you, always the same thing. Me, I'm always shilling something.
Well, you've got your fantastic carry cart, which I do own, which I appreciate because I can use it to carry my products and as a stepladder, as I have done in my basement and in my kitchen, because it's lightweight and I can use it.
The 4-in-1. Get it done with a 4-in-1. I'm on tomorrow morning, by the way, on HSN.
Oh, tomorrow morning, HSN. Okay, so I did
11 o'clock.
More than enough. Did you do the clock? I didn't even start the clock.
We started roughly a few minutes after 3, about 3:05.
Okay. So what would you like to discuss?
Oh, let me ask you a question. How do you decide what to eat?
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've got a chef in the house.
I do. Yes.
But I'm saying, it's an interesting thing. So I fall into the same habits. I typically eat the same thing for breakfast, but I mean, it's always a battle, isn't it? Eat healthy, try to eat less.
Yes.
Don't eat out. But inevitably, you're eating twice a day, 3 times a day, snacks. I mean, there's always an internal battle as to eat ice cream or chips or eat, maybe a green drink sounds good.
A green drink. I'm erratic with my eating, but I'm a grazer. I eat throughout the day and I get bored easily. So I'll get into a habit of like, I'll make an omelet with, all the cool stuff, and I'll have it a couple days in a row. And I think, well, I'm bored with that. Now I'll fix bacon with toast. So I'm an erratic eater, but I try to eat a lot more in the mornings. So throughout the day, I'm not as hungry because eating late at night has proven to work against me in a very big way. In a very big way. I'm 5'4", so I cannot eat and then go directly to bed.
So have you ever finished an entire bag of spinach or an entire bag of miniature peppers?
I have never had the craving to pick up one of those bags as a snack. So I'm going to say a resounding no.
I mean, have you ever, I guess the question is, do you throw out a lot of vegetables? Do you buy any vegetables?
Here's how it works in my house. The chef buys all the food. I don't make those decisions. I'll yell at him and say, throw some Pringles on there, or, something like that. But he buys all of the food. So he fixes lovely kale salads, which I would never fix in a million years.
Right.
So he makes sure that I can stay alive. So he does all that stuff.
So are you out and about at all these days? Are you to going it or picking it up at the curb or anything like that?
No.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Everything comes to our door because of the whole, where we're at in the world.
I talked to one guy. He said he hadn't been out of the house since March. It's like,
Sure,
wow.
that sounds right. I mean, I have a car now and I've driven places, but I don't get out, and a lot of people in New York are doing the outside dining. That's quite a popular thing. We've already had some incidents where the cars have run into the outside diners. So that's a fun New York thing that, is so adorable here, because they set up some cones and some plants in the road. New Yorkers are already an aggressive bunch and they aggressively drive. You think a car is going to see a cone and a plant and go, well, I better just slow it down and get away from that.
I might take another route.
Like, no, I'm going to hit that bitch and get it out of my way. So I won't do outside dining because I don't think it's safe. And I'm totally paranoid about the virus. So everything comes to my house.
It's funny because I heard yesterday that California is now allowing, haircuts and nails only if you're outside.
Oh.
Salons outside.
That's an interesting, I kind of like that concept.
Well, how'd your mother die? Well, she was getting her hair done. Car took her out.
Hair done out. That is interesting, though. I'm assuming they still wear.
Yeah, you got to still be mounted up, but you can do it, but you're outside.
What's the riskiest thing you've done since the virus started?
Oh, I went to a club about, 5 weeks ago.
What kind of club?
It was like an outside. It was someone's birthday party downtown St. Pete.
Oh, and how did it feel?
I was like, I'm outside. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be looking from the outside in. I'll dip in and out, blah, blah, blah. Then it started raining. So I was inside for a little bit and then outside and by the door and then gone. Turns out the fella whose hand I shook and whose birthday it was, he got the virus.
No, and no.
Yes, he did.
No. Who did you tell? Like, what did you do when you heard that? What'd you do?
I've been tested since then, and I'm 0 and 0. No
and
blood.
You have no symptoms. No
symptoms. No.
Okay.
But I tell you, I'm pretty good about I keep sanitizer in the car. Every time I touch my keys or touch my wallet or pass out my credit card to go make a bank deposit, boom, I sanitize everything.
How long can we keep this up?
I don't know. I've heard that question a couple of times. It depends on how many pills I've taken. There, we get working a little sexy time into the show.
And there was Tom's sexy talk. So, okay, yeah, so going back to your question, I've never really finished a bag of vegetables in one sitting.
That's bad. I did finish, I ate a whole bag of those small peppers, one at a time, adding to my sandwiches in the morning.
Why?
Because you got to get some vegetables in your body.
You know what I take? I highly recommend, and I don't sell this product, but I've told all my friends about it. It's called 8 Greens, the number 8 and greens. I learned about it when I was doing shows at QVC. It's a fantastic tab that you just put in your water, whatever, and it gives you, it's like
8 servings.
It's like 8 servings of vegetables in one day. It's fantastic.
It's like you ate a head of broccoli.
Honestly, I swear by it. I started taking 8 Greens way before the pandemic. I traveled 5 days a week. I was on planes and hotels and blah, blah, me. But what I'm saying is I was always taking the 8 Greens, and I feel like that helped me on a lot of levels because it did. Oh. Right?
I'm a fan of supplements. You got to get something you like and then see if it works.
So it's just a tab you put in your drink. I really highly recommend it.
The only thing I take on a regular basis are vitamins, lutein, zeaxanthin for my eyes. I love it. I've been doing that for years.
Okay.
No problem driving. No problem. No needing glasses.
Nice.
I take that and fish oil. I take on a regular basis.
See, and I think it is important when we share, because I just learned this morning, one of your fans from the show said she started doing push-ups because of you. She is now doing push-ups every single day.
Wow. Tomorrow's the big day for me,
I know.
I did 58 push-ups today before the show. Now, these are not, believe me, if my brothers see me doing this, they're going to say, oh, I'm still waiting for the first one. But it's shoulder, arm, all these other things wrapped in. So what I maybe don't make up in, quality performance, I make it up in volume. So
Yes.
when I started it was about 2 months ago, it was 20.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
And
amazing.
my goal is to do 100 by the end of next month, by the end of August.
I remember.
Tomorrow, I'm turning 62, so I hope to do 62 push-ups.
And you shall. Please video it. Video it, and then you can always edit to the parts because you can look at the camera and do one arm.
We'll see. I will videotape, and I'll see what happens.
Okay, well, that's so cool. So that's that. Okay.
Okay, so that was my eat topic, and then now it's your turn.
Oh, is it my turn? Okay. Okay. What is your culture? And the reason I'm asking this question is because it seems now with the world the way it is, everybody's fighting for their rights, whatever, we all want our rights. And I was raised in a military family, like I told you. So I was never really raised, I'm Irish, but I was never really raised like, you're Irish, be Irish, talking about I was raised, you're Navy, you're military. So I never grew up with that sense of culture other than, being in the military. So right. I'm trying to learn more about that because I'm kind of impressed with when someone says, this is where I'm from, this is what I know. I'm really kind of jealous of that because I don't have that connection I would like to.
That's interesting. And I'm going to say I'm pretty much from the same way. I mean, we were Irish Catholics. We were never strong in Ireland. It was always fun being Irish on St. Patrick's Day in Chicago, but my folks didn't celebrate it in any way. Although we did have, corned beef and cabbage.
Okay.
And then, we were Christians, Catholics, went to Catholic school for 12 years. So that was probably my foundation, but I don't feel a really strong attachment to either. I always hate when somebody makes an excuse for their poor behavior by saying, well, I'm Italian. I can't be, my temper is out of control. Or, right. I'm a Scorpio, how that goes, blah, blah, blah. So.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I am jealous of I love the Jewish traditions. They're very much together and there are a lot of family things. And, I wish I brought my kids up in a Catholic way because I think that's a fun tradition. Let's go to church on Sunday, family time, meet other people, go out and, have breakfast together. And we ended up never doing anything like that. So I think that's having those traditions are much better than not having them. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. And I think maybe now while the world's learning new things, we can find a way to interconnect what our cultures are. So we can find a way to go, wow, these are your cultures and they're great. These are mine. Let's share. Let's talk about it as opposed to
I know
is the culture.
People get worried though about appropriating somebody else's culture now. It's like it's a big thing. I think that's a bad attitude. I mean, Trader Joe's, apparently they had a bunch of things that were associated with different cultures, and they would change the names to reflect that, like Trader Jose's, Mexican beans, or Trader, Trader, something else Italian, something else Swedish, and they've eliminated all that stuff. They're not going to have them branded with those particular nationalities because they don't want to insult anybody. I think that appropriating someone's culture is almost is a compliment. I may be wrong,
But isn't
I
an
see something, I like it.
But Tom, I think they're confusing about respecting and sharing the culture as opposed to I thought appropriations was you took it over and you claimed it as
right, like the way that Pat Boone took over, Fats Domino's songs in the 50s.
Okay,
so,
I do not.
Or like Elvis took over, other black artists who took their songs
as his own.
And it's his own. They never really gave credit or homage to the fact that I like this, and I'm going to make $1 million singing, Hound Dog, even though that's not true, but it was sung by somebody else,
Okay.
6 months earlier by a black artist. That's the type of evil appropriation that I would be against.
Yes. Yes.
But I think if you wear a Jamaican hat with the dreads, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't, and again, I guess we're responding to where we're coming from, so we can't always just assume that the story we make up in our head is the right story.
We're straightening so many things out. With 4 minutes to go in the show, can I give an update on the checks? Okay, yes. So I had a moment of clarity with the checks And I realized the whole thing was a scam. Last 2 days ago, I got $2,400 worth of checks in the mail in support of me being a secret shopper. The idea was that I take that money, put it in the bank, wait till they clear, wait a day till they clear, take the money, and then buy eBay cards at different stores. Keep $400 for your trouble, and just we're gonna kick you through this dry run of buying eBay cards, and just to see if you understand the process of evaluating the store, looking to see how clean it is and how friendly the people are. Well, when I was skeptical, even though I was, excited about it, very skeptical about it. So I put the checks in the bank, and then one of the checks get rejected.
Yes.
And it's like, what? Because they couldn't read the barcode because these checks are forgeries. And then the guy said, "Where are you at?" I go, "Yeah, I deposited the checks." "Okay, they'll clear tomorrow." They're not going to clear tomorrow. Your bank may cover the check if you're a regular customer.
Right.
It's 7 to 10 days to clear. So that doesn't become cash for 7 to 10 days.
No.
So he was anxious for me to go buy eBay cards and giving him the numbers. So far, we're still stringing him along a little bit. I'm having some fun. I asked him if I could use $20 to buy some gas. I said, "Oh, here's what I told him." I said, "Hey, there was a Fidelity Bank that was the cashier's check. That's the bank that the cashier's check was drawn on." I said, "Hey, there was a Fidelity Bank down the block, so I just went over there. I just cashed the checks, using my ID, and I got the $2,400, which is ridiculous because they're never cashing those checks."
Do that.
No, but he must have gone, huh? So he actually cashed those checks and got cash. So I said, "Yeah, now I got this stack of cash. Now what should I do with it? Should I go buy those cards?" And of course he's saying yes. And now I'm stalling and I can't find my car keys. And now I asked can I use some of the money for gas money? He's, "Oh, yeah. Just do whatever you have to get those eBay cards."
And so where are you at with it?
I'm at, I asked for gas, and then he checked on me this morning wondering what's going on. I'm going to start having more troubles.
You're not going to do my plan because I had a good plan.
Yeah, your plan was to pretend someone's ill and I had to go to the hospital.
You do what you want. I just think
you mess with your own scam artists, okay? I'll handle mine.
If someone's trying to steal money from you and you find out, you mind fuck them.
Absolutely.
No and no. They're stealing money from people wrong.
I'm going to get a picture of an eBay card and say, "Is it like this?" "Yeah, turn it over like this," and then just send them the same picture. Keep on sending the same picture of the front of it over and over and over again. I keep on turning it over. Both sides are the same.
When's he going to start getting mad at you?
Who knows?
He's going to start getting mad at you.
I'm going to tell him I'm going to start dribbling and grabbing the money away. I had to buy a sandwich. Is that all right?
I'm telling you, if you panic, pretend you had a stroke and let someone else say they're an EMT and you're the last contact and see what he does. Because he might say, "Hey, does he have those cards? What are those numbers?"
All right. Do you want to do one last tip? Because it's time.
Oh, tip of the day. We did no sexy talk. All right, let's try to wind sexy talk and tip of the day all into one. Can we do it, Tom?
I don't know. Don't hurt yourself.
All right. Here's a tip of the day for the men. Be kind to all women, not just the women you think are fuckable. Oh, your eyes are rolling back in the back of your head. You know that's true.
I'm kidding.
Men will generally be nice to you if they think you're fuckable. If you're not fuckable, you're kind of ignored. You're in the shadows. And I will say I know that for a fact because when I was younger, I used to get a lot of attention. And now when I'm out in public, I notice the younger guys will look at me and they look right past me. Which is, I'm fine because it's terrible being out in the world when people just want to come after you sexually all the time. But
tell me about it.
I know, Tom, you've had that struggle being a celebrity. But what I'm saying is men are missing out on so many resources with women if they're only nice to the fuckable ones, because the ones that you consider not fuckable actually are a great resource.
Absolutely.
Right?
No, some of my best friends, my best friends are women. And that's not even on the page.
I know. Well, I know that you know that, but I think, did it take you a while to figure that out, though? Because, you're a guy. Did it take you a while to figure out? I mean, you came from a big family, so you might know better.
That's interesting. I've never really been a a predator or, look at women like
Yeah,
that.
I guess that's true. That's true.
That's just not my nature.
That's true. Was that sexy enough? I'm not sure. I said fuckable. That's kind
Yeah,
of a.
27 times. Wait till the YouTube shuts us down.
Can we say that word?
Makes me happy.
Is
Yeah,
that in the
I put
dictionary?
this under adult content.
Okay, so we can say that. Is that like a word you're not allowed to use?
Please, if you don't care what anybody thinks about you, go right ahead.
I certainly do not. It is not my business what anybody thinks about me.
Hey, guess what I'm bringing home shopping?
What are you bringing to home shopping tomorrow?
No, we just got a purchase order for our fix-it tape.
Oh, what are you selling tomorrow on home shopping?
Tomorrow I'm selling my carry card at 11 o'clock.
Carry card. And what's your logo for carry card? Get it done?
Get her done with the 4-in-1.
Get her done with the 4-in-1. I love my carry card.
Thank you, darling.
Yes.
I think I'm filling like 5 orders for carry cards today.
Nice. I'm so happy.
I've been on different podcasts, so I'm getting orders in from those podcasts.
As you should.
Lowe's.com. I just got an order from Lowe's. Got 2 orders from Amazon today.
As you should.
That's lovely. I'm looking, and I've got a meeting tonight. I'm looking to change my factory to Taiwan or Vietnam. The tariffs in China are becoming oppressive, so got to move along.
Yeah. Well, do you want to wrap it up with, you've got the opportunity to wrap this with a really sexy tagline or come on, dude. You've got it.
That's another one in the can. My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melinda McKinsey. Thanks for unpacking some shit with us.
We'll see you. So when's the next show? It's going to be Friday?
Today is Friday.
Oh, next Monday then.
Monday.
All right. Have a great weekend.
All right. Happy Friday.
Bye-bye.